Let's get to it. A quick review of the Montreal Canadiens yesterday and a few news updates for the Habs in general. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens played their preseason opener against half of the New Jersey Devils. The other half of the Devils, they were at home playing against the Bruins, and the Devils that were in Montreal lost. The Montreal Canadiens beat half of the Devils last night. It was a 4-2 final decision, and overall it was a game that most Habs fans were quite excited about, because a few unsung heroes, some guys that we didn't really think would be super amazing, were super amazing. And for the most part, it was a pretty good opener to Montreal Canadiens action for the 2019-2020 NHL season. Now, let's just go over a few of the news and the updates and all the stuff that we can talk about with the Habs. I guess it's housekeeping in a way, but I will establish first off that I didn't watch too much of this game. If you know me, I'm a primary Vancouver Canucks fan. I was switching between the Flames games and the Canucks games, and I say games plural because there were two of them. It was a split squad for both of the teams. Half the team was in Victoria, and the other half was in Calgary. The Canucks won and the Canucks lost, but the Montreal Canadiens had their squad in the Bell Center, and they did a pretty good job holding down what was essentially half of the New Jersey Devils. Now, it wasn't like that the entire game, because the Canadiens gave up a few goals here and there. But speaking about goals, let's go right over to the goaltender, Caden Primeau. Oh my goodness, what a beast. What an absolute beast. I've been a Primeau fan since his freshman year at Northeastern. I was a Northeastern fan because I followed Adam Gaudette from the Vancouver Canucks prospect system. He went through the Northeastern University Huskies, and he was great. And because of that, I was able to get my eyes on Primeau as well. Not to mention the Vancouver Canucks also having Tyler Madden going over to Northeastern. It really cemented that as well. Not to mention the fact that the Jackson twins are going to be at Northeastern this upcoming season too. But Caden Primeau is somebody that I've been super hyped about for a long time. And I even made a video about Primeau a year ago, talking about the conspiracy. Cayden Primeau, CP, he's going to be the next Carey Price, another CP. Obviously, I don't think that the ceiling is anywhere near as high as a Carey Price, but Primeau was amazing in this preseason game. Aside from a lucky bounce here and there, we'll say that, but Caden Primeau had an amazing few highlight reel saves, 17 shots against, 16 saves, and a few highlight reel ones too. Let's talk about that one big save from Blake Coleman off of a pass by Nico Hischier coming down on a 2-on-1. Caden Primeau absolutely robs the cross crease. He does. Domi was impressed. Carey Price, he looked really impressed. Everybody was just gouging their eyes out because this young NCAA coming into Laval, Montreal goalie was so solid out there. And he still has so much potential to grow into an amazing NHL goalie one day. He'll be with Laval. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be with Laval. He needs that development time at the pro level. But for a guy who's only 20 years old, who he recently turned 22, he's a great prospect. He's one of the better prospects too, especially taken where he was 199th overall in the 2017 NHL draft. He's looked great. Not to mention that incredible save that he made on Kyle Palmieri as well towards the later parts of the game. He was fantastic. But the Montreal Canadiens had a few other guys that were pretty good as well. Arturi Lehkonen, Nate Thompson, they each scored in the first period to give the Canadiens a 2-goal score sheet. And eventually, things were tied up. Carey Price led in a goal, and okay, cool. It's Carey Price. We don't really need to worry about him, but it was 2-2 for the longest time, and Jake Evans steals the puck, shorthanded. He flips it up over because it hits the guy's stick that he's trying to check it from, and the puck goes forward. Evans is kind of fighting off the guy. It's on a penalty kill situation. He steals it. He goes forward. He's almost offside, but he drags the puck through and forward to keep himself onside. And he comes right in on the goaltender. Absolutely snipes it. Jake Evans with the eventual game winner here. A short-handed mini breakaway looking thing. And that was super, super late in the third period. It was like a minute or two left, and that was enough to seal the deal for the Montreal Canadiens. A short-handed winner with minutes to go. You can't really get any better than that. I don't care if it's the preseason, man. Let me have this fun taking a look at the Canadiens and being happy with what they were able to accomplish here. But Evans, he was a silent player. You didn't really see all too much of him. You didn't really notice him all too much. But my goodness, you did notice him in that last frame there. Absolutely electrifying the crowd. Comes away with the 3-2 goal, and that's all she wrote for the Canadiens, who they eventually added another one as well. And that's all she wrote. Let's go over a few details I saw. This is not something that I can attest to myself. I'm taking a lot of this just from opinions I've seen on Twitter, on Reddit, and all that stuff. Cale Fleury. My God, he looks really good. Cale Fleury had an amazing game according to everybody that I saw watching the game. Josh Brook, on the other hand, I kind of talked about this in my Brook video too. Josh Brook wasn't super good, but it looked like he improved as the game went on, and he's certainly still an NHL quality prospect. There's no doubting that. But just for this game alone, just like the prospects game, Cale Fleury was out there. He was an impact maker out there for the Montreal Canadiens, and that is always a great sight to see. Other prospects that suited up, you got yourself Nick Suzuki, who a lot of people said had a great night. Jonathan Drouin looked solid out there. Even the parts that I saw Drouin, I thought he looked pretty good. And a few other guys were missing. There was no Paling, etc. Who really cares? There are other preseason games too, but for the most part, the Montreal Canadiens had a pretty cool lineup, and it was nice to see this early little bit of success for the Habs and some of the younger Habs as well. Now let's go over to some of the other notes to talk about with the Montreal Canadiens. First off, Noah Juulsen. This is really, really unfortunate, and the guy just really can't catch a break. Let's just go over here into the article. Montreal Canadiens defenseman Noah Juulsen, he'll consult a specialist for a second opinion regarding headaches. Headaches, right? Yeah, they're going to get approval for him to go out there and get some more treatment, I guess. It's kind of bad, really. He only played 21 games last year, and now he's got this, which is really unfortunate for him, but man, I just hope Noah Juulsen gets better. Seriously, he's a guy that needs this development time to get better. He's a guy who's only 22, so he's got a load of room to grow, but if he's spending all of that time being injured, darn, that really does suck. As for other injuries, Michael McCarron, he's day-to-day with a groin injury. That sucks too, man. Hope that gets better. You never want to see injuries to the groin. Especially as a male, I could probably agree with that. But overall, the Montreal Canadiens had themselves a pretty good showing. Sure, the Devils didn't have Hughes and Gusev. They were actually playing against Boston, which was so incredible. Side note, if you were watching Hughes and Gusev, that Husev duo, oh my goodness, they're going to be so good. I have both of them in my fantasy team, and I'm absolutely ecstatic as to what they will be able to do. They are so good. But jumping back to the Canadiens, I would have liked to see Hughes and Husev in the Bell Center in Montreal to really electrify the fans there, but having a Devil squad with Hischier, Palmieri, etc., that was still really nice to see too, and the Habs got their kicks in, they got their punches, they got their goals, so that's awesome to see. I think obviously the biggest takeaway for me in this game was Caden Primeau. I didn't watch the full game, but watching Primeau and the highlights and everything, oh, the guy is so good. There's a reason he was so good with the Northeastern University Huskies in the NCAA. And by the time he's 24 or 25, I think he's an NHL starter. I really do. I think Caden Primeau is the guy to really take things over. I made a video about it a year ago. That did pretty well, and I think Canadiens fans are actually understanding the hype around this player. Seriously, I think he's good. I think he's going to be really good. I can't wait to see what Caden Primeau is able to do by the time he's already a year past Laval. But he was in this game today, only played a little bit, 17 shots against, and the Canadiens as a whole had a pretty okay showing, but some guys stood out, and it was really, really pretty to see. Hope you enjoyed this video. So that's Cyanide, and bye.